The ice thawed weeks ahead of the ongoing Winter Olympics in South Korea, but after years of threats, sanctions and embargoes of various kinds by the countries around the world, that ice was broken primarily by the leaders of the fractured Korean peninsula itself. It began with an awkward meeting in a town along with de facto border between North and South Korea and culminated in the visit to the Winter Olympics being held in South Korea by the North Korean leader Kim Jong Un's sister, Miss Kim Jong Un. The North Korean teams are now participating in the games. The Olympic diplomacy was so successful that the thaw is now a stream of friendly overtures flowing from North to South Korea. The North Korean leader Kim Jong Un has urged, and I quote, further leveling up, and he says, unquote, of the warm climate of reconciliation between the divided Koreas. If the United States really wanted peace on the Korean peninsula, US Vice President Mike Pence had a peculiar way of showing it. He ignored the North Korean delegation at the Games opening ceremony, and on the flight back home, Mr. Pence stressed that the US, South Korea and Japan would continue to isolate North Korea economically and diplomatically till it abandons its nuclear and ballistic missile program. But grudgingly, the US Vice President was reported as telling a reporter the following: if we want to talk, we'll talk, referring of course to North Korea. And let me go across to the senior foreign editor, Padma Rao. Padma, how do you see this development? Can you please sum it up for us?
Well, it's an interesting development because it shows that the rift between South Korea and the United States, as far as North Korea is concerned, is growing wider. If not a rift, it's certainly a chasm. It's a difference of opinion. The United States is primarily interested in seeing denuclearization in North Korea, and also that North Korea gets rid of its ballistic missiles. The South Koreans are more interested in maintaining a status quo and possibly even getting closer to North Korea. They don't want war. So these are two disparate, opinions, and there isn't any meeting ground. And indeed, the Olympics and all that happened in these last weeks, and all that is still happening at the Games. There is a North Korean team that's playing there along with the South Koreans, and also the overtures that were made by the North Korean leader Kim Jong Un. When he welcomed, he thanked South Korea for its hospitality to his sister, who visited, and he also invited President Moon of South Korea for a meeting to Pyongyang at the earliest possible, on the earliest possible date. So these are overtures that are being made between the two Koreas themselves, and they show that big powers from the outside, like the United States and others, may have no space and space in any kind of peace negotiations on the Korean peninsula.
Thank you. Thank you, Padma, for this update.